So, welcome everybody. Here we are. We are on my second interview series, and I have the beautiful Mary Julia Cordero. Am I saying that right?
You got it. That's right.
That's great. Awesome. She's going to join and talk to us a little bit about her relationship and her home clutter and how that impacts their relationship. And I'd love to hear what you do before we jump in, Mary Julia, if you're open to that.
You bet. Yeah. I am a financial strategist. I work from home, so I'm around our clutter quite a bit each day. Every moment of the day, I'm exposed to the clutter. And I help families and individuals feel better prepared for their financial future.
Nice. Very nice. How long have you been doing that?
About 2 years that I've dug into that particular angle with one-on-one clients.
Nice. Are you enjoying it?
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. It's the most amazing feeling to take somebody from I'm scared and overwhelmed to like, oh, I understand and I see the map and I'm okay and I can take care of myself and my family and I can calm down, put my energy somewhere else. It's really, really, really beautiful and transformative and life affirming.
I love that. That's really wonderful. Yeah. I want to ask, did you always work from home?
No.
Okay.
No. This is my first time working from home, this particular position. When my kids were younger, I stayed at home. By the time we had our second child, it was not cost effective to put them in daycare and have me work. So I stayed home for those years. And then, this is, I guess 10 years later, I'm working from home.
Okay. So first and foremost, I want to ask too, is there a discrepancy between you and your partner around clutter in the house?
1000%.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
I don't think you're alone.
I was going to say, like, does it happen that people don't have that? Is that a thing?
I wrote a book, and every time I was telling someone I was writing this book about clutter in couples and how clutter impacts relationships, every single person I told, they said, I need that.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. So there's a real epidemic going on. And that's why I am having this opportunity for people to recognize that they're not alone, that everyone is struggling inside their homes around clutter and how it's impacting each other. Yeah. So let me hear who's struggling with the clutter. Both of you?
Whew. Yeah. Yeah. We've been married 19 years. So we have a lot of bandwidth for, oh, that's just the way my partner's a man. That's just the way he is, or that's just the way she is. He'll say it to me. So we have like settled into a lot of acceptance, but I think it's been a lot of acceptance of building frustration around how we both navigate clutter. And I can add that I think that I identify as someone who likes a space to be spacious. I also am embarrassed to identify that I am often the one with my stuff spread out everywhere. And so I clean my stuff up. And then I'm like, now why haven't you cleaned your stuff up? But I'm sure his experience is like, but your stuff isn't. So it's almost hard to indicate like who is the person that wants it to not be clutter and who's the person that doesn't care, because it's very entangled.
It's a mix.
Very entangled. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And is it a mix in different rooms? I've found that before, where one partner will be like, I need this to be clean and tidy, and the other partner's like, oh, I don't really care about that.
I think that our dynamic is that the way I would describe it is my husband likes to clean the middles and I like to clean the edges, but I only like to clean the edges when I've like had enough caffeine and it will provide me enough dopamine. So it's incredibly sporadic and unpredictable. But when I clean the edges, like I'll clean so deep and then I'll be complaining about like, I can't believe you only like just vacuumed the middle of the room. Meanwhile, he's like, I vacuumed the middle of the room on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I can't believe you've never vacuumed the middle of the room. So like, that's sort of the dynamic,
Right.
And then there's 19 years of like, oh, that's just how they are. Oh, that's just how they are. And like getting used to being like,
okay, that's helpful. You painted a beautiful picture. I mean,
well, what's really interesting right now and why I wanted to have this time with you is we just had our house remodeled. And you can see these like big, beautiful windows. And in the back, we did a lot of open space concept. And so the open space concept, when the house is designed like that, it's like the house is asking to be clutter free. The house is like, you literally designed me for this look. And so we just moved back in the spring, and we're still in August, like navigating like some back boxes that haven't been unpacked. Not everything has its home yet. So we haven't even quite reestablished the rhythm of how we tend to our clutter in our space. But it's our old house was small, it was 800 square feet. 4 of us lived in there with 1 bathroom, which I heard people did in the olden days. But apparently these days people don't do that much anymore. But like 2 kids and 2 adults. I mean, it was like clutter was just not an option, you know? It was just like, we were all like, guess we'll deal with it. But it's the house, the build of the house itself really introduces us to like a new possibility to live spaciously. And like the test is like, will our habits allow us to do that? Will the house win, or will our old habits win?
Well, I'm going to put my vote on that. You have a very good chance of new habits developing because it sounds like everything's different.
Yeah.
So the pattern interrupt is there.
Yes. Right. It's like, will we take advantage of the pattern interrupt in the best way we could, or will we waste this opportunity? It's kind of high stakes. But the other reason I'm excited to talk to you is that, like, I will say I have not cognitively or emotionally really, like, I'm a bit scared to talk to you because, like, what will you unravel? Like, I've never stopped and been like, that clutter, that one pile is representative of so many unmet needs for both of us. And conversations that we haven't had and things that we've buried and been like, oh, we just have to focus on raising the children. We don't have time for this, or all the things we've set aside. What are like it reveals so many deeper trends. And I haven't looked at that. So I'm like nervous and excited about that.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, do you, when you are in your seat right now, are you looking around and you're seeing clutter piles? It can't be, can it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
Oh, yes.
Okay. How long have you been in the newly remodeled space?
Let's see. 3 months.
Okay, that's fresh. But like you said, you're still unpacking.
Yeah. Okay. It feels like I would say 3 months would be the amount of time at which I feel like there shouldn't be boxes. Like there's definitely like we've reached the like there's a lot of should going on, but not a lot of communication. Pretty much zero communication.
Okay.
But lots of expectations that are
on both of your parts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd love to let's talk a little bit about that. Let's dive into, can your relationship sort of interface with a new form of communication now that you're in a new space? I mean, again, the pattern interrupt is so perfect right now. Like a whole bunch of new things could happen in your life if you created intention for it. So would you and your partner sit down and, I don't know, put something in your calendar on a Sunday morning, no kids, just like, let's talk about some of this stuff. Let's talk about what our expectations are and what our timelines are.
I mean, that sounds really, really healthy, Colette. Did you like how I sidestepped that question with a compliment for you?
Oh my gosh. But no is the answer.
No, I don't think no is the answer. I think it's there's a lot of transitions happening in our life. I would say the renovation came as it always does, for some reason, as a real like tidal wave of change and transition. So we are in therapy, which is great because I do think that, like, as a 19-year-old, we just turned 19 in middle of July, as a 19-year-old couple. And we've always laughed about, like, when we were 1 year old, like we were a baby. And when our relationship was 5 years old, we're like, we're starting kindergarten. And last year we're like, we're a legal adult. Now we're like 19. We're like, I'm just floating out here. I
Wow.
don't know what our life identity is, but we have had so many transitions. They've all been really, really high stress. I think we're both really clear that there was an old version of us that doesn't fit this new version. It's not just the house. There's a lot of things. So I think we're navigating that through therapy. What I don't think we have navigated is the clutter. Which I think is a real, like, what I love about your perspective is that it's just so tangible. It's not like, how do you feel about this feeling that I had about the thing you said 25 years ago?
Right.
It's like, this thing that you have left on the floor represents 800 ancestral stories for me that are currently being triggered. It's just so like, can you move it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
there is high frustration, you would say.
Absolutely high frustration. I don't feel surprised again because we've been married for so long and we're both very clearly in it. That was the first question our therapist, when we started therapy, we've been to therapy before, but like this was definitely a time of like this make it or break it moment. And she said, do either of you have one foot out the door? And we were like, no, that's not really what's happening. It's really just like this. I appreciate your question because I think the question at hand for us, and that is indicative of what I see around me right now in the clutter in my space, is, are we going to make this beautiful? Because the opportunity is here. We could have a beautiful relationship, or are we going to let it just be like, which is okay. We could choose to do that too. We take pretty good care of each other, but like there's an opportunity for something deeper. And so that was a really long-winded answer to say, like, I think that's an incredible idea, what you said. I'm totally resistant to it. Probably means I should totally do it. And I do think it would fit. It's scary, but I think it would fit. I don't think it would be like so out of character to be like, let's sit down and discuss expectations. It'd be a new habit for us that I think would be incredibly helpful and affirming. And I hope this makes sense. Like, I think there's also, for both of us, we're very tired. Part of it is where we're at developmentally. Is that a word we use as adults? Use that with kids, but it is, right? Like, I'm perimenopausal. He's like in his mid to late 50s. Like, we're tired.
Sure.
And so there are moments when we're like, yes, I choose you passionately. Let's do this. And then there's moments when we're like, I'm just gonna go to bed. So my response to you was from the part of me that's like, I just want to go to bed.
I'm tired. Yeah, exactly. Right. But here's what I'll say, as an optimist, that those conversations can bring more connection, can bring an energy shift inside of the house, but then that momentum is going to sort of build on each other dramatically. Yes. And there's high potential that tiredness might get replaced with sort of excitement.
Yeah. I'm glad you say that, because the other thing that happens, and I think this is common for folks that are navigating parenting, is like, we have this identity as parents and co-parents, and we do that well. And then we both know we don't put enough time in to nurture the us of us. We nurture the co-parenting, but even just sitting down and being like, what are the expectations of how we tend to the space that's called the room we share together, is like, that's about us, and it re-energizes and it facilitates connection. And I feel tired, I'm just like saying all the pieces. Like, that sounds like so potent what you're saying, like that it would refuel connection.
Yes, there would be different things that would be happening. And I think if you did it at least if you could do every other week, that would be ideal, just to start building a new habit. But it would be able to clean things, not just physically, but a whole bunch of different ways, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people really do. I mean, you're not alone. I feel this is very common, that there's no time to nourish the relationship because the job, the house, the pets, everything, the work, life. I get it. But I want to just encourage you guys to make a choice to really connect, because it can really turn into a really fun ride versus just, oh yeah, you again. Yeah. Your ancestral stories as well. Shoot.
I feel vulnerable to say, but I'm not sure why it's so hard to choose that. Like, it's this beautiful thing is right in front of me. Like, it's not just that I love my husband, like, he is one of the most wonderful people on the planet. I would choose him over and over and over and over again. And I'm not sure what is that vulnerability that is so scary to be like, I have this opportunity to, like you say, like, let's clean our room, our shared space. Let's tend to this nourishing space together. And that it's still like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, what is that? What is that? I don't know. I assume that's, it's what I'm taking to my therapist.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think that you would be alone again. I think a lot of listeners would hear that and go, yeah, that's real. We have a finite amount of time and energy and life force. And it is interesting when we'll make that decision. Like maybe you'd make that decision when you came to the end and your partner's like, I'm out. I do have one foot out. And, I would recommend to all people to take the other road and nourish before things blow up to a point of no return. Not that I think that that's what's happening here, but
these are things that happen in relationships. I mean, we know that.
You bet.
Being in 18 years is no guarantee of anything.
That's real. Yes, that is real.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get back to clutter. I'm going to ask.
I thought we were talking about clutter.
We really are. I mean,
we always are.
They're pretty intertwined. Everything is. So when you do start feeling overwhelmed by a certain amount of, chaos in the house, what is it? How do you deal with it? Do you tend to withdraw? Do you control or manage? Do you tend to overfunction or shut down? Like, what happens in your nervous system if it gets triggered with, oh my God, I can't believe we're living like this?
Well, it's happened a lot of times. I have two kids, so lots of practice. In my best moments, what happens is that I'll say my best and then my not so proud moments. In my best moments, I absolutely have like a somatic, I think that's the word, like freak out. Like my whole body is like
totally.
And it doesn't necessarily come out of me, but it's like anxiety. And then I've been through anxiety enough to know like the single most important thing I could do now is calm my system down before I tackle anything. So I have to calm down and slow down. So in my best moments, I'll be like, put on the headphones, let's meditate, walk away, like calm down, slow down, and then I'll go into like, this just happened this weekend where I went into like, we've ruined our, the brain is very funny. We've ruined our chance with this new house. It's already so cluttered. We've just reestablished our old patterns. Where am I going to find the energy to get our house back to where it was when we first moved in? Mm-hmm. And like, nowhere. I'm never going to find the energy. I might as well just give up. Like that whole thing, I have to kind of like back up and let it ride. And then like right now, what I'm trying to focus on is like, what rebuilds my energy? And my first instinct is like, well, go to the gym. And I'm like, did you have to come up with the hardest thing to do? So then, it's like, I just have this whole thing with my brain, like the whole that, nope, what's the easiest way to get some energy so you can use the energy to start doing your sporadic, let me deep clean. Right. And that's how I usually solve it. Now, certainly lots of times that looks like, my husband will like do the boys' laundry and then he'll fold it and put it on the main bar in the kitchen, the island.
Yeah.
And so I'll grab it, as gently as I can, but I'm like, and then I'll bring it over to their room and then, oh, your clean clothes are on the floor now, aren't they? And then, and then I'm like, but I'm fine. I just, I really think we need some systems in this house. And then I'll like walk away and not put a system in place. Just, just the like getting mad, getting people, what happened to mom? Oh no, mom's upset. And then, not really saying, like, I'm definitely the person in the house that'll be like, let's sit down and have a family meeting. Let's structure this out. Let's write it down. A lot of times I don't have, like, this is a common role, right? For hetero women is to, to be like, oh, I'm doing the like executive management of the home. And
sure.
I don't fucking have energy for that. And so I don't, even though I know it's going to bite me in the ass and it's just going to so the whole situation is going to replay. So I will say in response to clutter, I don't know that I have, like, I like what you're saying. I think the reason what you were asking me rubbed so hard against like, ooh, that sounds scary to sit down and talk about what we do, is because there's a replay that happens, which is like my replay. He has his own replay, which I know exactly what it is, but my replay is like, get really fed up, get nasty, then either don't yell at people about how they should be, everybody should be more responsible, and then not create a system, or like finally get so fed up that I have to create a system, and it works for 3 days. And that, like, that just, right, it replays over and over. And it's not like I would, like, in my ideal is like, oh, we're a team, we come together and we're like, this is our house. And that's what you're saying, cultivate that. And I think the resistance to that is that, like, it's very hard to let go of the dysfunctional pattern that exists.
That's so honest.
To myself,
so honest.
YouTube. Yeah, it's really hard to let go of what you know.
That's real.
It's really vulnerable. Yeah, because somehow it is working out for me. You know, like I'm making it.
Yeah, no one's dead.
Nobody's dead. Yeah.
Right. No one's filing for divorce.
Nope.
But I guess the question then turns into, are you feeling joy? Are you feeling light? Or is it your home is oppressive to you in some way, or the clutter is oppressive?
Yeah, it's really beautiful, Colette, to have these questions come through the lens of my home. And I'm going to share this because I'm sure it's relevant to someone listening. We lost a really close family member to a pretty violent death in January. And that was maybe 3 weeks after we moved out for the renovation. And grief is a very humbling, I don't want to say process, because I don't think that's fair. It's just a humbling presence. And so, like, when you ask, is there joy? Like, I don't even know if I can expect that, you know, like I would say that, like, you know, that death was ultimately the thing. The death was like ultimately the moment of like the 19 years of marriage that we built will have to be reconfigured to hold this new reality of the grief that our family's experiencing. And that's not uncommon in 19 years, right? If we made it that long, we've had to rebuild multiple times. But I think also like the literalness of having a new home built in that process. So when we came home, there was a house where this beloved family member was close to us, and that house doesn't exist anymore, nor does that family member. And then we home into this new opportunity amidst grief. So there's a lot of complication. And I think that it's clear, like, I don't know that it will, like, I might cry a little bit. And I'm sharing this again because I'm sure other people have this experience of navigating grief and trauma. I'm not sure that I'm currently motivated by accessing joy. I do, given the severity of the situation, I do think there's a strong chance that we would end up really going our separate ways if we do not nurture us right now. This is like a critical point. And our home is like, I've known that in some ways, but it's not totally talking to you that I'm really understanding. Our home is a really, like, I feel like this really beautiful, welcoming inner vessel of like, I am right here. I'm literally your physical structure, and I can hold new incarnation of the two of you.
Yes.
It's like, it's literally holding space for us to try something different.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so I really appreciate how, I don't think, you know, before you and I talked, I wasn't thinking of it through the terms of the home and the clutter. And it's like, it's telling the whole story right now. And that were we to literally do the simple act you said of design a time to clean our room together, that it would move so much. And that if we don't, we will grow apart. That's why we're in therapy, because we know that. It's not like we have a foot out the door, but we're both pretty clear that, like, if it keeps like this, like, there's not really another path. Because the marriage is asking to be rebuilt, and the home is here, like, holding space for us to do it.
And you invested the money and the time and the effort to move out, move in, and
tell me about it. Oh my God.
Seriously.
Yeah.
the investment is high. So I would invite you guys to sort of, I know you're doing it with going to therapy and.
No, I don't think it's what you're saying. I think therapy is very like talk. I think what you're saying is so beautiful. The idea of cleaning our shared space, like physically, like bringing that into the physical realm.
Yes.
It's such a powerful act.
Yeah.
It's like date night on steroids.
Yeah, it really is. It's my tagline is create a sanctuary together, because that's what I really want people to do. And especially inside of your bedroom, that's what I really want to have people have, that beautiful space to pleasure and play with one another and be happy around the fact that they have a body to touch and to have them hold you. It's a lot of people don't have that. And so to come into that state of, look at what we just created with just 1 hour of work together.
Well, it's also, and I mean, tell me, I assume this is common, like the bedroom is like where we store stuff that we don't know where to put. We just put it in our
God, no.
I know.
No.
I know, like, it's like, I practically know it's not a good idea, but it's not till we're sitting down together that I'm like, oh, that's actually the worst idea. Like it would be better in the living room where everybody could see it.
What is it that we're talking about specifically?
Oh gosh, everything. I mean, there's a couch in here that needs to really go to the side of the road. There's bikes stored in here. There's unpacked boxes in here.
The bedroom?
Yeah, because we prioritized the living room. We were like, let's get this set up first, and our bedroom will be the overflow.
Oh, absolutely not.
Say more.
Absolutely not. No way.
I didn't know we were doing it. So I'm sitting with you. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting symbolic act.
Yes, indeed, because that is just showing me that relationship isn't getting that nourishment. If your bedroom is a storage unit,
yeah,
that's no good for anyone.
Yeah.
So there's got to be other places for that stuff to land. I mean, if the couch is supposed to hit the trash, hit the trash. Like,
yeah.
Let's pull the trigger and clear out anything that no longer needs to be in that home.
Yeah. I feel like I should do an update with you like in a week.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I mean, a week is not that much time. I would give you a month. Like, it's not a one and done. It's so hard to make that happen.
But I want it to be a one and done. No,
it's not. It's not. And also, too, I don't want you to stress out either. You know, that I know there's a lot on your plate already. Yeah. So it's coming up with a plan. And again, that's where I would say, like, sit down and converse for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Before you do anything, and come up with a plan about what's the most important thing to triage right now, especially in the spaces.
Yeah. So would you say, like, you recommend for folks to sit down, come up with a plan, like, for the next month, we're going to do this, or we're devoting this amount of time every week, or what does that look like?
Say start small, so no one gets overwhelmed and doesn't feel like they can actually make it happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure of your schedules and what feels right to you, but if you can get on a little bit of a once a week type situation for maybe 2 months, that's going to generate the amount of momentum that's going to maybe want you to create that as an ongoing, but maybe have a nice bracket of 2 months around it, or a month. It's up to you, obviously. Yeah. But, I never want to just freak people out by saying, you should really do 3 hours every week.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. I'm not going to do that. So I want to see what's going to fit in your family so that it can start. Yeah.
Yeah. I am of the, I kind of shared this earlier. My husband is the more predictable brain, and I'm the sporadic brain, which is why I'm like, in 1 week, I'll have everything done in 1 week. I do get more done in 1 week than most people do in a month. But it's taken me till 48 to realize that actually wasn't the goal.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. I'm just starting to let go of multitasking to a certain extent.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Because the goal is the goal you're saying, like, I heard the goal is like, get the couch out. The goal is like, create a sustainable ritual of nurturance with your partner.
And then come up with a plan,
Exactly. The plan is the outcome of the.
Yes. Right. Yeah. And so I hear you, like, to get it done is going to give you a dopamine hit, but to have a nice, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sustainable plan of, maybe we gather all the things and we get the junk haulers coming in 2 months so that we can have everything ready that they just pull away from us and we don't have to deal with anything other than that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just love what you're saying, because it is, the things that you can get used to, it'll, when we first had like the first time the junk haulers came, because we're moving and we had to get rid of some stuff, it was like in between going in and out the door. Hey, will you schedule that? Hey, when is that? Okay, send me a calendar invite, and then like, oh, I got to remember to say that. Oh, I got to remember to,
Yes.
it's a really different method, but also, again, it's like you're really shining a spotlight on the two of you are not setting aside time to tend to your home, and you're using your room as a storage unit instead of a sanctuary. Like it's kind of intense what you're saying, but I like it.
It will bring you to a different place.
Absolutely. Clearly. It seems it's so simple what you say, and it's high delivery.
So when your partner has his level of frustration, what does he do? How does he manage that?
He does. So he can't stand for certain things. Like he can't stand for like the dishes to go too long without being cleaned.
Yeah.
And the consequence of that is that we have children. And so my kids play the game of like, I know if I hold off on my job too long of doing the dishes, that my father will do them for me because he can't stand it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it creates this whole cycle of like, he cannot stand it. So he does it. Then the kids play dumb. Let me rephrase that. The kids play like they didn't know. And then I come in and then I get mad. Like, it's just like the clutter is like the key to like how we play out all these family systems that like are on loop. And that just happens again. Then I'm upset with my husband. Then the kids are like, don't get mad at daddy. It's our fault. We're the one, and they're like, oh, please don't, da, da, da. And then I'm like, oh no, mommy's wrong now. Like it just go like all because he needs the dishes done before they do, because they're kids, and I don't care as much, like I can have a place be really messy and then I obsessively deep clean and then it'll stay that way for a little while and then it'll, and he's just more systematic.
I see. So he would prefer it to stay tidy more often.
Yeah, but not spacious. Like he likes it tidy, but not like organized and spacious.
Okay.
We like things to just be like clean. And I like for things to be like organized, spacious, and like clearly put in their homes, but only, when I have enough dopamine to make that seem ultra important.
One of the things that I want to say, and I don't know if you've already, especially since you're moving in right now, I want to try and suggest that you look for some empty drawers or create some empty drawers. And I'm talking to everybody here. And you want to have those drawers be the crap zone. Like if stuff is on the table and the surface or whatever, that you can just swipe it into a drawer. And then the system is, at this point, once a week, everyone's getting their crap out of the drawer and filing it wherever it needs to go, but it's not on the counters.
Yeah.
And even if it's not a drawer that exists, maybe a basket, maybe something, but to just corral it.
Yeah.
So that you're not faced with it consistently
in
places that, are very, very common space.
Yeah. It's really, really, really helpful, your bits of info, because they're so much larger than just the words you're saying. I think like, I'm thinking, oh my, both my kids are teens, like, oh, I need these teenagers to clean up. That's like such a different conversation than us sitting down and me saying like, I need to be both a human and a parent that, I don't want to say holds the line, I can't get the words quite right, but that honors that like our home is a sanctuary.
Beautiful.
And treat it with respect. And I expect that of you. And here are the systems I'm recommending. Like every Saturday, then let's clean out this junk spot or whatever, to like, not because you have to clean because that's what you're supposed to do, but because it's our sanctuary and it's holy and it deserves to be prayed to almost, like the cleaning
Yeah.
prayer and a gratitude to the home.
Very much so. I really do believe the home is so sacred.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get a little lost in that sometimes. You
Yeah.
know, it's easy to do because especially as things are always coming in, you know, we're always trying to figure out, well, where does this go now?
Yeah.
There's a lot of management. There's a lot of management of stuff that's happening, and there is no room for space to hide it or put it away. Like the fact that you're living with, you know, stuff in your bedroom is a sure sign that there may be too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
why is that? Why is that? So is that a new thing? So much to manage?
I think honestly, I do believe that because of the ease of shopping these days with Amazon, it's pretty simple to get what you need instantly.
Yeah.
And then also I just feel, you know, from what I see with kids are really, they bring a lot of stuff to the table.
Literally and figuratively.
For reals. Yeah. Like the birthday parties are every weekend, and all the little gift bags and then when they have a birthday, it's like, oh my God, how do we incorporate and weave in all of these gifts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every year.
Yep. Oh, time to redesign the room again. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's intense. I don't have any children myself, but it's sort of wild to see. Like there's so much. It's like it's a tidal wave that's consistently coming through the door.
Yeah. I am a recovering, my kids would love to hear me say the word recovering in front of this, but I love like someone's garbage pile by the side of the road that they're trying to give away. I love, like, my brain is just like, it is the most fun. Like, I have to pull over and look, oh, what are you giving away? Oh, this is nice. Why are you giving this away? My kids are always like, oh my God, there she goes again.
They're not sticky. They don't want the stuff.
I don't think it's this. I don't think it's the stuff. I think it's the social, like, class. I think it's a class thing, you know, that they're like, oh, very lower class.
I see.
Of course, like, fires me up to do it even more and shove it in their face and go, these are my kids, you know. But I think it's connected to that, like, the shame of like going through other people's garbage. Whereas I'm like, why would you throw this away? This is perfectly useful. Hey. And so I say recovering because, again, the new house is like, this is a house that is asking for spaciousness, not like, how many chairs can you fit in this room that you found off the side of the road that work perfectly well?
Right.
So there's new habits for me to form as one of the adults, you know, ready.
Of not collecting, of not gathering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not just the kids. It's also
sure. Yeah. We all have different habits. Do the kids get affected by the clutter, do you think?
They're very different. One of them does prefer I would say he likes clean. He likes cleanish, but he likes like at one point we were modeling the room and he was like, it has a built-in bunk, a built-in loft. And so he was like, can we take the loft down? And I just looked at him. I was like, but where would your bed be? And he was like, oh yeah. Like he would like everything gone, you know? Okay. That's his aesthetic. And he's had that since he was young. The other one's aesthetic is definitely like sticky candy wrappers stuck on the sheets. And that's kind of his aesthetic. And he just like, so to ask him to clean up is like, he is also a very logical kid. And so he's like, but why? But I don't care how my room looks. Why do you care how my room looks? What, you know, he's like, I prefer it to look like a slob lives here. And I don't, you know, so that's actually really interesting to navigate.
Right.
You know, I do think the question of why is a little bit about sanctuary. And of course, we talk about roaches quite a bit too. Also, you don't want roaches in your room. But beyond that is like, what is the reason why? And so he's really hell-bent on like, this is ridiculous. It's not even my aesthetic. It's my brother's aesthetic. Let him go. First time they've had separate rooms. They lived.
Okay. Oh, so they were Felix and Oscar for a while in the same room, huh?
They were in the same room until they were, one was 14 and one was 12. Yeah.
Wow, that's intense. I've always had my own room, so yeah.
Yeah, that was 800 square feet. We were on top of each other. Very
exactly. Small. Of course. So you don't really recognize, like, if there's a lot of stuff happening inside of the house versus their room, do you think that they get affected?
I think that I have to assume that they do.
Mm.
I know for my older kid who likes things to be spacious, when we moved back to this house and it was very spacious, you know, before we started cluttering it up, he immediately wanted to invite his friends over. And I think it was maybe the first time that he's really been like proud of his house, you know, and that's been really intimate. Like that's been really, really sweet. And he just wasn't inviting kids over before. I don't think I was so aware that it was because of our home.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he just much more now, you know, is willing to invite his friends over. Surprising. Yeah. I was definitely like, I had no idea, you know.
Did you feel that way?
No.
Okay.
No. I think I grew up in a different class structure than my husband and that consequently my kids have.
I see.
So I just have like a lot more breadth of what's an okay way for things to look.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that kid, he has that aesthetic, but we had also sent him to a private school. And so he was seeing these other homes that were very, very wealthy and expensive and larger.
Sure.
And so I think it was that, you know.
I see. Yes. Yeah. There was some level of shame or I'm different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Let's see. Do you and your partner have a favorite communication tool that you utilize in the 19 years that you have not killed each other?
A favorite communication tool.
Or maybe a phrase that helps shift you out of gridlock or.
Ooh, that's a good question. It's interesting. I mean, we've learned so many tools, you know, but then it's like we hit this season, and we've hit seasons like this before where like none of the tools are interesting almost. You know, maybe it's just like more interesting to like pout in my corner or something, you know. That's not the whole story, because like grief is the overlay.
Yeah, right.
I think we had something happen recently that was really beautiful, that really, you know, it's how we ended up in therapy. It unlocked the gridlock. Was I think it's really for me I know a lot of this is encoding of the woman, maybe specifically white woman. I'm unsure how racialized it is, but the not asking for what I want.
Yeah.
Like complaining about what I didn't get. And so then he is like, you know, the stereotypical male who's like, but I don't know what she wants because she's not saying it.
Sure.
And then I'm having to ask her if she's okay. And then she's like, I'm fine.
And you're not really.
I'm not.
And you're not really, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I think the big thing that changes that is you know, again, grief as the overlay, everything is really hard. You know, when things were getting really bad, I was retreating. That is and interestingly, we were both retreaters, which is unfortunate. Neither one of us will like go into the other person, you know, we'll both like kind of retreat.
Right.
And so he did say, you know, what's wrong, which was really beautiful, you know, and I'm really, really grateful he did that, because I could have said, here's what's wrong, but he noticed my particularly extensive retreating. He said, what's wrong? And I had to really sit with myself in quiet, you know, to be like, this is your moment. Like, this is the moment of your marriage. Are you going to say what's wrong?
Right.
You're going to ask for what you want? Or are you going to complain about something? And so I needed him to, I have previously been the person who has initiated therapy and like found the therapist and scheduled our appointments. And so I was able to say, you know, I think we need help. And he was surprised, and I had to really choose to not be, you know, I could have quickly been like, oh, you're surprised? Really? You know, like I was like, keep it calm, keep it really calm. And then he said, you know, what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to find us a therapist and book us an appointment. And it's one of the bravest things I've ever said, because the older structure of us was so genderized.
Right.
And it wasn't gonna make it. So I think I think the thing that gets us out of gridlock, for me, I can only say from my perspective, is definitely when I actually say what I want and don't engage in the part of me, the younger version that wants to like argue or fight or sit in the corner or just like, what do you want? Like, do you want this marriage? Are you in? Because if you want it, you ask for what you want right now.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
so agree. I really do. Yeah. It's almost a precipice,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
he did, and he found it. He found the therapist, and you guys are going.
He did amazing. Yeah,
Awesome.
he did amazing. I think it was helpful for him to have like super clear directions,
Right.
Like he's asked me right so many times that I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe if you just figured it out without me telling you,
Yeah.
But no, he chose a great therapist, and I really feel. But I think for me is like, even though that was a precipice moment, like taking myself to the precipice actually every single time. Like, do you want to have a marriage where things sit and stew and stew and stew? Is that what you want, Julia? Or do you want a marriage that like lives into what the two of you are more capable of?
Right.
So for me, that's what gets me out of gridlock. And once I get in that centered space, it's just like I'm steady. And even if he's not in that centered space, I'm just like, ask for what I want. Don't get upset. Ask for what I want.
Beautiful. That's really helpful. That's great advice for all of us.
Yeah.
Really helpful. Thank you so much, sister. This was great. I really appreciated sitting with you and hearing about your home and your clutter and your relationship.
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful at these really simple integrations that I think will make literally mountains a difference.
Yeah,
mountains,
I think so too.
Mountains of stuff of a difference, but it's so energetic. It's not just the physical stuff.
That's real. That's true.
Beautiful.
Well, thanks again for sharing your story. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have you back in maybe a month, maybe a month.
Maybe a month. Yep. That's a really good practice. Slow down, be consistent.
Slow down. Yeah. Pacing. All right, sister. Have a great day. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.